Hey there, everybody. It's late February. We are down by the Wolf River Apple, where the deer and I, for several years now, have been engaging in a competitive, cooperative focus. A competitive, cooperative pruning exercise where I'll make a few of the structural changes to our trees in a few places to encourage outward growth from the center of the tree, discourage branches growing back in towards the center and things. And then I stop, and the deer, over the course of the winter, will come in and make adjusting cuts as well. And they'll kind of pick and choose what it is that they're looking to cut back. And so, towards the last bit of the window where pruning for structure as opposed to hamper growth in an area is recommended, I like to come in and clean up tips like these. And there is a little bit of thought that goes into, okay, depending on how much I cut this branch, this little side shoot back, I can either send the pooling of the growth hormones to the leaf buds, or I can take it back at the base and send additional resources and growth hormones to what is behind it. I'm not sure what's up with focusing in this video, and I apologize. So, whenever you make a cut or remove a branch or a side shoot or anything, what will happen is the tree will send signals to close off that wound and seal away the damage. So you can see here a piece that got nicked off. I didn't come back and clean it in an appropriate time frame, and because of that, this node got thicker and received more because this shoot here was not there to accept the chemical signals to grow and put on new additional green growth. And so part of my math is figuring out where along the branch the fruiting wood is, what is within reach of the deer, and whether or not the structure of what they have been pruning is going to be able to handle a fruit load. So I could cut back, say, this one, and send additional resources to this bud here. Likewise, this cut right here, I don't think this is enough to support weight, but it might be something that gives avenue for additional pollination, and then I can come in and I can trim it, or I can excise the fruit. And so this is what we are working on a little bit today. You can see a few of the additional offerings to the voles and the rabbits in the area that have not been moved just yet. But I find that a little bit of this more delicious material helps to stave off damage to the less delicious but more integral bits there. So just a little bit of that. I'll show you a few others where I am making this sort of decision, but it's a little bit easier because of the yield that I'm looking for. We're now down over on the south end of the persimmon bed, and I have a number of the chokeberries right here that have been pruned off And because what I am looking for out of them is additional vegetative growth this year, I want a lot of additional branching and an additional shrubbiness to it and its neighbor to support fruit production in another year when they're really going gangbusters for it. Likewise, this fig that it is not advised to leave outdoors is still actually green inside, and I am looking for additional vegetative growth out of this as well, so that I can take more and more cuttings and hopefully cultivate a few in the hoop house space or in future greenhouse space, or to just grow out for folks who do have a year-round space where they would like to set one in motion and harvest fruit at a sooner place. So in here, the pruning consideration is more that I'd like to finish getting this all cleaned up and not in the way of this next bud. But if I come in too early and I clip this bit before the deer start having considerably more food to pick from, that next bud down then becomes a very attractive thing with no sealed off, cordoned off, chemically altered woody bits to it. So by choosing to leave just a little bit of that, I can dissuade further travel down the stem. Just a little bit, but it's enough to make the suggestion that there might be something else that's a growing tip that is a little bit more tasty, and they might move on to something else. But those are some of the things that we are working on at the moment. I have a big project going on inside the house for storage needs and renovation purposes, and I'll be able to talk about that in a little bit more detail and some of the additional effects from that project shortly. But till next time, thanks for watching. Happy pruning.